morning, day 3. It is a little after, getting close to 5:30 now. We've been awake for a little bit. We're up earlier because today is a longer mileage day. We got 17 miles to go to the end. And today we do have a couple really nice points of interest to see. We have, I can't remember the vista, but it's the really big vista right above World's End, right before you start to decline into World's End State Park. We have the rock maze, which is really cool. And we have World's End State Park, of course. Then we have Soane's Pond. Then we have the haystacks. So we got all that today. Weather, we shouldn't, knock on wood, get rained on today. It's going to be cloudy, maybe a peak of sun here and there, but it's raining in the afternoon. But it should make it for a cooler hike. So, so right now we're going to finish drinking our coffee, then we're going to pack up and get rolling up this first hill. We just stopped at the World's End Canyon Vista, which was beautiful, which I think is probably one of the best here. There's a parking lot to get to it and stuff. So it is a lot of like tourists go there. And we just went through the rock garden, which was also, it's pretty neat. Kind of reminds you of the rock structures and formations at the Loyal Highlands Trail. And now we're doing the long descent down into World's End State Park, where we might sit at a picnic table, just take a breather right before the big climb up out, the big rock scramble up out of World's End State Park. We are officially now at World's End State Park. Just came out to the road. Come off the trail and you're right on the road. Right down there, if you're wondering, is the concession stand, which is closed this time of year until after Labor Day, I think it is. But that's a nice place to turn off if you're there at the right time and get burgers and stuff. So I'm gonna cross the park office and then keep on moving, take a break, find a trash can, maybe dump some trash to lighten our loads, and climb up out of World's End State Park. Here is where the rock scramble starts, and it is straight up there. Derek's already heading up, straight up.
Right down there is a spot we stayed at about a month ago. This is the first legal spot out of World's End State Park. And it's at mile 47.2 something, 24 I think it is, but kind of really have to make it work for tents, but you could do it. Hammocks really have to make it work, but I stayed right there. We're about 5.5 miles in for the day. We're just about finished with the total climb out of World's End. It ends right up here by this gate. And that's about 1.5 miles, I think, total. You know, a good part of it, a lot of bugs. A good part of it is a rock scramble. Then it's just a steady climb, but it's still pretty big elevation gain anyway. Okay, we stopped here for water, take a little break after that, and then we're gonna start, I think we're gonna get into a pretty relatively cruisy section, so gotta get motored on. About 10 after 11. We're about 8.5 miles in for the day, which is pretty good. A little bit more than 2 miles an hour. We had some pretty tough terrain, but we're about between 1 and 2 miles from Soane's Pond, and we're going to take a little detour there, a couple yards off the trail there to where the pavilions are, and stop and have lunch. That'll probably be one of our last breaks before the end of the trail, because then it's only about 6 miles to the end, so getting close. Just came up on the one section that's really, really swampy. Made it to Soane's Pond, my favorite place to camp here often. We're going to go over to the pavilion, which you could, well, I can see it from here. But we're going to go to the pavilion or picnic table there, and we're just going to have some lunch. Getting pretty tired. We're a little over 11 miles for the day already, right before lunch, so we're making really good time. So now it's just time to rest and eat. We decided not to go to the pavilion. It's kind of too far. It was like a football field length maybe to get there, and we'd have to backtrack then to pick up the trail again. So we just stopped there at a log right in Soane's Pond. We ate, rested, and now we're taking the trail back. We got about, it's like 5.6 miles from Soane's Pond, 5.5, somewhere around there, to the parking area, so it's not far at all. And coming up is the haystacks. And I think that's like the last kind of point of interest for this trail until you're at the end. Right on the last, what we call the brutal climbs of this trail. It's the last one. Come up here. We have to go down into the haystacks, and then when we come up to the parking lot, it's not that bad, but this trail up and down all the way to the very end, and it finishes on and up. Just climbed down and we just made it to the haystacks. This place, this is one of the things, if you're going to come on the Loyalsock Trail, you got to come see. Very, very beautiful, and there happens to be a lot of water coming through this time right now. So yeah, very beautiful, very nice lunch spot, nice place to just hang out. Made it up to the car and put the backpack down, and we're done. 59 miles, 4 days, 3 nights. This was a great trip. This trail is very difficult, so don't think you're coming out here and expecting an easy trip. There's lots of very beautiful points of interest and different things to see, but this trail definitely makes you work for it. You earn everything you see, and it was tough. I mean, I didn't backpack much this year so far, and because I had a hurt knee, but I'm feeling it. This was definitely a difficult trail, and Derek was just talking about comparing this with the Black Forest Trail. And I know before I had said the Black Forest Trail was harder, but I don't know. I'm thinking this might be harder, not even because it's longer, but if you want to know what this trail is like, it's simple. It's up and it's down. It's up, it's down, all the way to the end. Especially at the end, it's one last climb right to even to the parking lot. So, but I had a great time on this trip. We had beautiful weather. I had a great time with Derek. It was a fun time hiking with him. He had to put up with me the whole way, and that says a lot. But with that, I'm going to end it. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.